What's going on, YouTube? You're tuned in to the No Level Cap podcast, and this week it's spicy time because we're reacting to anime hot takes.
Yo, welcome back to the No Level Cap podcast. Y'all know what it is. We cover all the anime, all the gaming, all the nerd culture, all the anime, and today, all the anime hot takes. So I guess there might be some of the bullshit that we usually avoid. I am your host, Sage Ashford. These are my co-hosts, Terrence Flowers, Rakeem Beck, Devin Butts, and Will Coleman. This week's episode was an idea that I suggested, but I do wonder if we're even going to get real hot takes. Because a lot of anime fans are fucking bots, and they confuse hot takes with like room temperature takes, or they just saying things that are so niche that nobody cares enough for it to be a hot take, or it's like some so specific within their fandom, and you like, all right, man, like no one cares, bro. Like nobody wants to argue that. So, but we've scoured the internet, as it were, and found some hot takes across Reddit, TikTok, and Twitter. And let's get exposed to them. Let's see what kind of nonsense. This, by the way, on the screen is not the first hot take. It is stupid, but it's not the first hot take. So I just wanted to, excuse me. I wanted to keep everybody fresh before they got a chance to see anything. Let's get started with something that I saw on Reddit earlier today. Not that one. This one right here. Some anime hot takes and unpopular opinions. It's from 5 years ago. Someone starting off hot with the hot take of Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is overrated. Anybody else tired of these?
The Fullmetal Alchemist one specifically?
Fullmetal Alchemist one.
Oh, specifically overrated or underrated?
Yeah.
I feel like that happens because it's someone who was recommended this by someone who was like, that's their favorite anime of all time. Yeah. It's lauded, and in this case, it really is lauded and very popular. And they just didn't like it as much, so they just assume it's just worse. And I'm like, just because you don't like something doesn't mean it's not good.
that I agree.
Some stuff doesn't speak to you.
I do think that that's the thing when it gets to a point where people hype up certain shows so much that when somebody finally gets around to it and it doesn't reach that level of hype that they were conditioned to think that it should reach, then they think like, yeah, it's overrated.
Yeah.
So
I think, I would ask, if I watch this show without someone hyping me up and having this expectation, how would I also feel about it? Yeah, and that's kind of a hard place to compartmentalize yourself because we as humans don't really work that way. Once we've been like, I got the poison touch a little bit. Once we've gotten something in our mind, it's hard to get out of it. But like, if I just came across this randomly, would I have had the same hype as if someone hyped it up beforehand? It could happen in not just anime, gaming, all types of stuff.
Yeah,
I did struggle with it last year. Expedition 33, they had like by the time I played it, it had been hyped to heaven and back, and I was like, "All right, man, is it really that good?" And I was playing it, I'm like, it's not connecting with me on the level to the extent that they had hyped it up. I was like, "Oh man, this is cool," but I kept waiting to be taken into like space with the game, and I'm like, "Nah, it's just a good RPG. It's like it's a solid, well done RPG, but like I'm not, it's." People was touted as the savior, and I'm like, no, cut that out.
We don't pay those people no mind. They don't know no better. They just got here. I'll say that.
Speaking of people you shouldn't pay any mind, this next take from this same guy, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. Fuck this dude. I'd rather watch a 7 out of 10 anime from 2015 than a 10 out of 10 anime from 1995. Look here, man. If you tell me this, we cannot talk anime no more. Straight up. If you tell me you can't watch an anime from the 90s, it just look old and weird, like, all right, cool. We're going to talk football. We finna talk video games, I guess. We'll talk movies. We cannot talk anime because I no longer respect your anime opinion.
Okay,
that's
so
fair.
That is very fair, but I was just about to add it because you said it. He said something about, anime looks wonky and weird to me. You want to know why it looked wonky and weird to you? It's because that's really pen, ink, and pencil to paper. A lot of that then is that. That's why it looked weird to you, because that's really people putting blood, sweat, and tears into the art to make it move. It's not more like I'm not against what we have currently with a lot of our technology, CG, this, that, and the third. It's still some of that art being drawn. But back then, we had a lot more of it being drawn and put to the canvas than we do now. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
This might be an age thing too.
It's definitely an age thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
whoever tweeted that, I mean, whoever wrote that is definitely young. Like there's no way you say that, or either they're young or they're older, but they came to anime really late. Because there's no way you grew up watching Toonami in the 90s and in the early 2000s, and then you come out, you like, man, I can't look at that old stuff no more. Like, bro, what? Shut up.
Because I absolutely loathe the way Dragon Ball Super looks compared to OGZ. Now,
man,
the Broly movie, Super Broly, that animation was fire.
Yeah.
That's how I felt like Super should have looked, but
right.
Well, we'll see with this
toys.
redo if they can pull it off.
Man, if they do a Dragon Ball Kai again, I promise you.
I do agree with this. Not really that hot of a take, but I mean, it's basically what I was saying earlier. Saying things like this anime is bad, good, overrated, underrated. That's not a hot take.
That's just that's personal opinion.
Yeah, it's just an opinion. Like, you'll be all right. Anime is entertainment like TV shows, and trashy anime has its place like trashy TV shows. That's again not really a hot take.
Yeah. No, I mean that's accurate.
Yeah,
that's accurate there.
I mean,
I'm sure everyone has one anime they're like, ooh, this is trash, but I like it.
I mean, that's why trash TV, trash anime exists. Like, what's his name? Mother's Basement. He does like almost every season. He does a video on the trashiest anime of the season, just because every season we do get some trash, and some of it's entertaining, some of it is legitimately bad, and you have to differentiate between the two.
All right, this is more of a comedy than a hot take. Japanese original dub, great. English dub, okay. Espanol, Latino, goat.
I ain't gonna lie, Sage, I would not mind if we just one day found an anime we genuinely liked and see if they had a Spanish dub. I'd actually like to listen to that. See
you know what? That would be a fun thing to do.
That'd be funny as hell.
UK dub wrong.
Oh my god.
No, we did African dub.
Malaysian.
Yeah, I put it this way: with as many Latino Dragon Ball fans as there are, like, hey, there must be something about that Espanol.
I'm gonna tell you, Dragon Ball and Saint Seiya.
Yeah,
I remember when I was a kid, I went online to look for Saint Seiya subs, and everything was in Espanol. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah,
I didn't know at the time it was very popular over there.
Right. It just didn't take off over here.
Right.
I love Tokyo Revengers, but if you think about any of its aspects, it all falls apart. That's not a hot take. That's just you poking holes in the plot. That's not the same thing. Like, I see where you're coming from, but that's not a hot take.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. I would say you can do that to literally any media if you do it long enough.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right. And there's plenty of that, especially that first point they were trying to make, like, where are the parents? There's a lot of shows where
I would say a hot take would be more so like, man, if you using logic in every situation can like ruin anime for you in a lot of cases.
Can ruin fiction.
I would say that just ruins fiction in general.
Yeah, I mean,
you apply too much logic to it. It's like, all right, well, now everything's boring.
Because I hate when people just go for like, oh, this story is terrible because logically this and I'm like, yeah, but in the context of the story, you would never have time to think through that stuff. Like, sometimes you're watching stories, you're looking at an angle in totality after it's concluded, not during the process. That's a different kind of mindset. I mean, there are holes in stories sometimes, and there are legitimate, legitimate criticisms to just bad writing where they force something in, but not in every case. There's sometimes you're poking holes at things that, like, this just wasn't what that story was focusing on at the time, so it's not included. Not necessarily a logical fallacy,
Yeah.
You gotta remember there's a level of disbelief that has to be suspended, because it's like when you watching Kuroko, like, it take them having a full-on conversation going down the court. Like, bro, if this was real time, they would have been running for like forever. That's not how basketball works. But it looked cool. That's how it works in that,
Yeah. Great example too.
Like, you're like, man, I'm gonna do the pass behind my back. Like, bro, you been running for like 3 minutes, bro. Like,
that's a travel. What happened to defense 3 seconds, man?
I'm saying, bro, you ain't pass half court.
It'll be so funny to watch somebody watch it. This is not realistic, dude. Like, he taking him like 3 minutes to get down the court, bro. It's anime, bro.
Yeah, I think sometimes this could be our take. We have to allow suspension of disbelief to enjoy a lot of stuff, because otherwise, if you go too logical, you could logic your way out of enjoying the medium entirely.
Oh yeah, I mean that's true. That's not even a hot take. Like that's you legit have people like I remember seeing this isn't even animated related. It's more so just somebody being foolish, but it's one of those people that going on like the woke side of things. They were looking at a period piece and they're like, oh, there's somebody of this ethnicity, this race in the background. Like it's totally throwing me off, bro. If you're examining background characters that hard, you ain't really even watching the show. You're just trying to find something to be mad about.
Looking for reasons to be racist.
For real.
Here's one. There's nothing wrong with having a popular mainstream anime, shonen or otherwise, as your favorite anime. You don't have to go through a lot of different shows to prove that you have seen enough anime to justify that opinion. I hate this take. I'm so tired of people just trying to justify like how fucking vanilla they are. Like, if you're vanilla, cool, just be vanilla. But also, like, stop trying to immerse yourself into super deep anime convos and all you've seen is like 4 or 5 shows, bro. Just go over there to whatever show that you saw, go to that fandom and hang out there. If you don't care enough to go check out other shows, then you don't need to be trying to immerse yourself in being like, well, my favorite anime is Dragon Ball Z. Like, all right, man, I got it. Cool. I got it. You know,
I agree with this, but this is literally just the gaming conversation we always talk
about.
Thank
you, Devin. I was thinking so hard.
There's nothing wrong with it.
It sounds real familiar to me.
Talking about some, oh man, JoJo ain't this, some like obscure stuff. Like people that really watch anime watch or something back in the day, like some old school stuff, Vast MP, you be like, be quiet. Like, just be quiet.
And to be honest, also at this point, like what's even considered obscure anymore, unless it's just something that is so under the radar that people just have no knowledge of.
No,
he got J.
There's a lot of anime. Like, what's the phrase? Like, anytime you bring up any anime that ain't like the big deals,
the big ones,
like the big 3, blah blah blah, JJK. Attack on Titan, Death Note. It's about 25 to 30 big anime, and then anything outside of that, people be like, "What is that? I ain't never heard of that." Like even something big, something that you would consider big, isn't necessarily big to like certain casuals, and so like something like That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, like that's a big anime, but to a lot of people, they like, man, I don't know what that is, and like that's always the joke online. They're like, oh man. People when your favorite anime is One Piece and not That Time I Got Reincarnated as a toilet seat or whatever the fuck. It's like, all right, man.
I guess that's what I'm trying to say is that like the definition obscure just really depends on the person. Because like for us, that's I mean, true. Even the most obscure anime to an extent we know about. But yes, if you're talking to somebody who's more like an anime casual, then yeah, they're not gonna know that because I mean they just aren't well versed enough. So it's like I feel like obscure depends just who you're talking to, but that's just me.
For sure. Oh no, I mean I agree with that. But it's just like I don't know, man. Like, you know, if you say your favorite anime is One Piece, I'm not gonna react no type of way. I'm gonna be like, oh, okay, that's cool. Okay, and then that's it. Like, but it feels like there's almost like a backlash. Like I'm almost being judged for my favorite anime not being like the most obvious shit anymore. Like,
I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah,
eclectic anime.
It's like if you're going I guess it depends on how you talk about it, because some people they go out of their way to make themselves seem so different that it's like, well, clearly if you don't like this,
they try to be
the difference between being a super casual and a snob. That is very true.
Yeah,
there's a middle ground there.
Oh yeah.
Let's switch over to Twitter for a little bit and get a little bit of that venom.
Yeah, let's get a little spicy.
That's real venom.
Let's get some real deal. It burns.
This one was a weird one. Like I think it was you that put this in, Terrence.
Yeah.
I hate everything about the way modern anime looks, the hyper polished perfectionism, the lighting where everything is color graded to death. It all looks the same type of bland. And I get it with the current market pressure, but I do wish imperfections were still allowed and didn't immediately risk sales, because that's the whole charm. It's easier to sell merch too, I guess. That's a huge focus now. I see pop-up shops for everything. All personality is gone, and I find it so sad. You know what I would say to this person? You don't watch that much anime. Like, if you think everything has the same type of color grading or the same type of perfectionism, you only watch or you've only seen clips of the most popular shows, like the biggest seasonals that come out, and you're not watching like some of the other stuff because like there's still a variety. Like I actually had a version, not exactly this conversation, but like a friend of mine that watches anime, but they're like much more casual about it. They were like, yeah, all anime kind of looks the same. And I was like, nah.
Even art style, they don't look the same.
He didn't watch Dragon Ball Super and 7 Deadly Sins, I guess.
Yeah, what I'm saying.
I think she had just only seen like isekai shows and like the same handful of like, and I'm like, yeah.
I think a better way of saying this, if it was this conversation, is like we have now been like inundated by so much of like the similar shows that are doing the same thing that it feels like we're just like that is overwhelmingly taking over the industry. Because of the rise of isekai, especially like we used to talk about the isekai protagonist problem, where they all look the same and were drawn the same. They had the same like girl, this type of love interest, the spiky haired dude. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I think also there's something.
Cousins.
I think there's also something to be said about how there is, and this may be just because more of like the audience is like this pursuit of Sakuga animation, where like if it isn't Sakuga, I ain't watching it. Like if it isn't on like a Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, or Frieren level, then it's garbage. And
that literally can't be the standard. Everybody get money.
Yeah, that can't be the standard. Not every show is going to have Ufotable working on it. It's just not possible.
Not every show is gonna have a tax evader on it either. So what do I know?
Man, you never lied. This the design that y'all was talking about, where it's
that hair is the number one indicator. And
I mean, this has been around for a long time. Like this is over a decade.
Yep.
Well, over a decade. Yeah.
Like look at all them dudes. They from different anime and they all look identical. And I mean, like, ugh. But that's light novels. Like you went and chose to follow this same style of light novel. Now, I will say I do think that there should be a larger variety of anime being made, but hell, they make 90 anime every 3 months or 4 months. So I mean, shit.
It's actually crazy when you think about how much anime is made per year. Like that's kind of insane for animation to have that many productions going on in a single calendar year.
Definitely crazy to me. Because I'm somebody that love going back to look at old anime, and you go back and look at like, hey, what was they airing when you was a kid? It's like, oh, that's it.
7.
That's it.
Now it's 90.
Like you had this many options in 1996, or actually let's go back to 96 just because that's 30 years ago.
And that just goes to show how many studios exist now versus back then.
96.
Facts. But like this all you had, you got, was that 10 anime?
Man.
You ain't like them 10? Too bad.
Man, I forgot about those who hunt elves. Man, I forgot about that.
Cody.
The success in the desk though. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, these seasons are crazy.
These seasons are
supposed to release.
I'm still scrolling.
We are overwhelmed with choice now.
These seasons as a reason.
You can literally go back then if there was a Crunchyroll back then, we could watch every show in a season. All of them.
Easily.
Yeah.
Easily. You could go have a full life outside, go do all types of shit, play some video games, go shoot some hoops, and then keep up with the whole anime season. Be like, yep, I watched all the anime. And it wouldn't be like, no one would call you, say like, oh man, that's cap. Like, no, man, you only watched 10 shows. Congratulations. Man.
By the way, I'm just gonna say it. I fucking love this season right now. I'm loving this season, boy. This season,
there's a lot of stuff this season. There's a lot.
This season rules, bro.
It's like this is one of those things where if you don't have something that you like, then I mean, hey, that's on you.
I got a few shows. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. If there's something that you don't like, then I mean,
there's something else in the bundle.
This is a fun one. It's not really. I don't think this is a hot take. I do think it should be here. Yeah. So, like, I think, Terrence, you shared it, so I do think it should be here.
It's something that I did see people discussing, because I think, well, I'll let Mark, say what he has to say first, and then we'll talk about it.
A lot of times, I think some shows are really big because of the time it came out in. Because my question is like, do you think Dragon Ball Z would be as big as if it came out today? And I don't know, because I think niggas is automatically looking for a complex story today. So I don't think they would accept something so like kind of simple today, like just a guy getting stronger and just like God getting stronger with his friends. Going like, well, damn, I don't know. So leveling is that?
I was just thinking the same thing. I'm like, oh no,
it's real shallow and real popular.
Actually, that's exactly what I'm. Get really big today. I just don't know how big. Like, I always think that when I make an anime, like I would drop. I don't know how smart it is to drop like a manga, like a chapter, like really close to an episode. Cause like I feel like if you let it get to a head, like niggas, depending on what story it is nowadays, niggas ready to spoil niggas now. It's like niggas are so ready to just deliver you that information. So now I feel like maybe because that would make the manga just not important really.
Well, I can tell you off rip one. People read manga, if at least in the West, we are way more exposed to manga now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
For sure.
And because we read manga, I think our tastes have like naturally just changed. Like the quality of like what we want to read and incorporate and what we expect out of anime. Because a lot of times the mangas and the animes don't necessarily translate one-to-one all the time. And especially if the manga is actually really good and the anime kind of lets you down in some aspects. We definitely have gotten more curated taste than we did when we were younger. So I think in that regard, like, if you've read like a lot of good manga or watched decent anime, and if Dragon Ball came out today, you'd be like, oh, this is a cool anime, and I'm gonna watch it. But I don't know if it's like, celebrated as one of the biggest pieces of media on earth. Like, I don't know if it becomes that. Yeah.
And I mean, like, it's two things. One, the thing is, Dragon Ball is the blueprint for Battle Shonen.
Yes, correct. That is what some people were commenting.
So, when you are the blueprint, because it's somebody else said this, but I had already that was my initial thought when I saw I didn't even watch the full clip. The first thing I saw was would Dragon Ball be as big of an anime? And I was like, no, but that's because when you're the originator, when you created all the tropes that everybody is basing their shit off of course you're not gonna be as big because you are the one that they based all the tropes off of. So
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
All I was gonna say is of course, everybody else has been doing inversions, or they gonna do a twist on the trope, or they gonna add on to it. And so I'm the base, I'm the original. I'm not gonna be as big if I was released today as when I was. I'm not supposed to be because I'm the giant on whose shoulders you stand.
Yeah,
that's the whole point.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. What I was going to say is we had a similar conversation to this at some point about Sword Art Online, where would Sword Art Online be as relevant if it released today? Probably not. But Sword Art Online is not the original isekai, not at all, but is one of the ones that really launched
it popularized
into where it is now.
Yeah, it popularized.
Yeah.
There was a time when isekai, I talked about this one time, I think in the Is Anime Political episode we did, where I was back in the day, it was all about getting back home. And now a lot of times isekai is about living in that world and how much fun it is to live in that world and change your life and all that type of shit. Yeah, it's escapism. Even though Sword Art Online wasn't really about escape, it was really about trying to go home. But it popularized the style of anime where you go into a world and all the women fawn all over you and you're an invincible hero that can't be stopped and all that shit. So it did popularize it in that way. So even if it's not the most original plot line now, it's still popularized. And I'll say this, by the way, with Solo Leveling, the difference between Dragon Ball Z and Solo Leveling is there is not, to my knowledge, and somebody else correct me if I'm wrong, there is no Dragon Ball Z version of Sun Jin Woo versus that the Ant King. Where the villain is clearly the main arc villain, overpowered as fuck, and then the protagonist just show up and decimate him. He ain't got to dig deep for no new powers. There's no point where they're even, and it seemed like they even know. Sun Jin Woo just showed up and beat that dude's ass for 25 minutes to the point where the Ant King was like, I got to get the fuck out of here. I can't win. I done tried everything. I done tried to poison this nigga. I done stabbed everything. I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm running. Like, there ain't no Dragon Ball Z equivalent to that.
I will say,
they gave it to like other characters.
First forward sale.
I was they gave it to other characters. They gave it to Trunks and Piccolo. They didn't give it to Goku.
Even then,
yeah.
Cell wasn't in his final form. He was a new threat. He wasn't in his final form. And then Trunks, like, he showed up and killed Frieza, but Frieza was no longer the main villain.
He wasn't that dude no more. Yeah.
We was transitioning into like the androids being the big villain, as opposed to like the Ant King was the villain. He was technically the dude they was building towards that whole time, because like the show started off talking about what happened on the island and how everything went bad on the island. So he was the dude they was building towards. And then Sun Jiwoo came along, was like, I don't care what you've been building towards. I'm the main character. I'm gonna drag my nuts across your face, and then that's it. I don't know, like, and that's the thing. Like, I'm not sure if Dragon Ball was released today, it would be as big, even without all the blueprint type shit, because people aren't used to having a character have to struggle like that. Like they want the overpower, like all the isekai shows have shown you all these invincible protagonists. And Sun Jiwoo, he not an isekai character, but he is an invincible protagonist where like he struggled a little bit at the start, but now it's just like, everybody I face, ain't nothing.
A lot of bit at the start, to be fair.
I mean,
he show up, whoop ass, and leave.
It's like they threw all the struggle in at the very beginning, and it's like, all right, well, now I just get to have fun.
I do think that
basically what it was.
In terms of Korean manhwa, Solo Leveling, like while power fantasies are nothing new, I believe Solo Leveling was like one of the first to really pop off. And as a result, that's the reason why we see so many power fantasies come from Korean manhwa, along with like the looks based stuff. Like there's so many Korean manhwa are about like looks or power fantasies. It's crazy.
Right.
As a dude who reads a lot of Korean manhwa, I can tell you right now, he was the blueprint for like not only do they take his looks, his whole theme became its own genre. Like the overpowered, other world, like specific. They look like they even have the same weapons, like the dagger in the hands. They took everything to copy that. Like they want their characters to look like Sun Jiwoo. That's how much they copied that.
See a lot of that because what's that dude, the Tomb Raider or whatever.
Tomb Raider, what, Legend or whatever?
Yeah, we about to see a lot of that shit. This from Twitter's favorite.
Oh, Kira.
Kira won't miss.
Won't miss a paycheck. Unpopular opinion: the worst thing that happened to anime is that it became popular. Shut the fuck up.
I was say I'm not in the boat on that one because I'm cool with anime having gotten popular. I think where this opinion stems from is the people that came into anime at this point in time. That's what I think it is. Yeah. It's the other people who are on the outside of it, not really messing with it, and now they got into it, and now it don't feel like the space that they like anymore. It's
I never saw this. That says 50% of their global users watch anime now?
Yep.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah. That is a lot of people.
I mean, that just goes to show like anime, like how mainstream anime is now. Like people can't argue it anymore.
To be fair, I've talked on this podcast before about how I noticed, like every job I go to, like when I first got into working as an adult, nobody I knew in the job was talking about anime.
Right.
Every job I've been to since like 2019, I've had not just one, multiple, and not just any position. Old, young, middle-aged. My boss watched anime. My coworkers watched anime. Supervisors, managers, 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds. Don't matter. They all watching it. It's crazy. Right. Like it's that domination is like I've never seen nothing like this before.
Did you say you had a coworker all they watched was like power fantasy, like overpowered protagonist?
His favorite, that was his favorite genre. I actually talked to him about it. He said, don't you feel like I'm kind of not into super overpowered protagonists? He said, what's wrong with it? I don't see any problem. I love it. I love it. Love it. Look me in the eyes. And you know what? The level of happiness he had in his eyes, I couldn't even say no. That man, I love it.
Hey man, as long as you having a good time.
Yeah, if you're having a good time, at the end of the day, if you're having a good time and you liking something and you're not hurting anyone, it's totally fine. Totally fine.
Yeah, he would recommend me more. Hey man, you need to watch this too, man. He
I don't know, like the only thing that can happen bad from anime becoming more popular or becoming popular is all capitalism related. Like,
corporate
if
greed.
they start like
corporate greed and things.
What's
like
the
that.
word I'm looking for? If they start trying to,
anime already got some of that.
Overemphasize just a handful, because like they say Netflix says 50% of their global users now watch anime. Like, I just want to let you know, they not watching. What's one?
Rising Impact.
Was something obscure?
You know, actually, yeah, that's a great Devin. They not watching Rising Impact. I can tell you that off rip. They not watching nothing that's like anything below A+ tier in popularity. A+ tier anime, they not watching that. Like, most of them watching the same handful of anime, the same ones, the anime equivalent of the ball and gun games.
Right. Now, I will say this. Netflix does prioritize specific anime a lot. Yeah. So, like, there are some anime that kind of get a boost. Baki is one of them. Because Baki's like one of their heavy hitters.
From Netflix.
Baki and Record of Ragnarok. Those two, I know they push those hard.
Glad you mentioned them, because let me ask you a question.
What's up?
If Naruto is on, I don't know if Naruto's on Netflix, so I'm just using this as an example.
It should be.
If Naruto is on Netflix, do you think more people are watching Naruto or Baki and Record of Ragnarok?
I would say it's definitely going to be Naruto. Well,
yeah.
I would think so.
You ain't got a second
Naruto getting old now. It's been almost 20 years.
It don't matter. It's one of them ones that everybody recommend. And so, like, that's the one, like, everybody, and the anime being, since so many of the popular anime now are long as fuck.
The Office.
Like, the people, exactly, Terrence, it's the Office of anime. Because so many of them are long as fuck, you don't even get a chance to move on to another series. Like, a lot of back in the day, you'd recommend shows and it'd be like 26 episodes. And it's like, okay, cool. What's the next anime? Because I just watched this. I seen 26 episodes. I need something else. Now it's like, all right, you recommended One Piece. Well, that's the only thing they're going to watch for the next year. Because it's so many fucking episodes. They got to get to 1,100 episodes.
I actually know a person who only, and I mean they only watch One Piece. That's the only anime they watch.
Is it Tim Bush?
No. Tim watched Naruto, remember? But, I have a coworker right now.
Shout out to him, man.
I have a coworker right now. She's an Indian girl, and she just loves One Piece. She loves it. She came to Halloween as Luffy. She loves One Piece, and it's actually pretty charming. I ain't gonna lie. The way she loves it, like she really likes One Piece.
There's something to be said about how One Piece in the 2000s, like when it came over to the West initially, was not really a big, not too much of a hit at all.
I want you to save that, because we gonna come back to that.
Okay.
Thank you for verifying though, because we gonna come back to that just a second, because I'm gonna go back to Reddit and I want to show you something, and then we gonna talk for a little bit.
Okay.
As old anime fans.
Okay.
But yeah. I don't think that's the worst thing that happened to anime. That's definitely
worse. Absolutely not.
You can talk about the crunch and that's going on with the workers. That's way worse.
Yeah.
I will say for this one, how many of us have actually watched all of Frieren? Because
I've not watched all of it. I only watched the first season and not all of it. I watched the first few episodes.
Talk it out. Okay. I hadn't finished watching it. So
Frieren is all of the good parts of Mushoku Tensei with none of the bad. If you want to watch a great fantasy anime, then watch Frieren. What did you want to say, Terrence?
I just wanted to put that. I just wanted to ask, had anybody watched all of Frieren first? Because I mean, I know that we have Mushoku Tensei fans on the podcast, but I just want to make sure that's a fair comparison before we get into it.
I don't want to speak on something that I.
This actually goes back to another episode we talked about, Sage, that goes along with this. Problematic favorites. This is how these combinations happen.
Hey, I will continue to say, if you find Mushoku Tensei problematic and cannot watch it, I am fine with that. I'm not finna sit here and argue you down and try to make I'm not finna do that. Like, you got it. So if you want to watch Frieren, I will say I was watching this is another anime that gets a pass, Ascendance of a Bookworm, and I was like, man, this kind of got some of the same, not the exact same problems, but I'm early on in it. I'm only like 6 episodes in. It's got some similar problems insofar as like the protagonist being mentally an adult trapped in the body of a child and all the complex problematic implications that come with that. Things that you wouldn't have thought about in 2000 that we think about immediately now. Like, it's got some of the same issues, but just in general, like, if you think Frieren is a better fantasy anime, cool. Like, there are a lot of great fantasy anime out there, so I'm not going to tell you, oh, don't watch this, watch Mushoku Tensei. Like, hey, man, you going to start Mushoku Tensei, and you either going to be able to vibe with it or you're not. Simple as that.
And it's totally
sometimes it ain't worth trying to fight people on stuff. It's like, hey, if you don't like it, you don't like it. That's fine. Like, you cannot convince everybody to like something.
Yeah, but you know what, Sage? This also goes back to almost what you talked about. Like, we had the other question. Like, man, there's a lot of isekai that just they didn't need to be isekai, and the show would have just been fine without it.
Somebody said that actually. Hold on.
Yeah, there was one that I put in. Yeah,
there it is.
Okay.
My unpopular anime opinion is that a lot of isekai anime don't need to be isekai. Like, they rarely use their skills from the modern world in the isekai one. It's just the fantasy of losers somehow transports to a world where they're powerful and everyone loves them.
Yeah, it's not. I will say with Mushoku Tensei, of course, like Rudeus actually comes to terms with a lot of his issues in the other world more. So it's a part of his character development. But a lot of isekai, I feel like, man, that happened and they just never talk about that part of him being in the world again. Like, at that point, you just didn't need to be isekai. You just went straight to the fantasy world.
To be fair to this person, this is from 2023, and I mean, the isekai genre has just continued to just snowball since then. So, this isn't really that hot of a take now, but even a few years ago, I could see this being a little more spicy.
Yeah. It's barely a hot take at all, to be honest. Like, a lot of isekai anime could just not be isekai. Like, a lot of these characters, they just hop over it. Like Keem said, they never bring it up again. Like, Mushoku Tensei, if nothing else, like, all of his, like, trauma, the trauma he had from being, like, in his old life, it's constantly re-referred to. It's constantly brought back and, like, oh, this is another way that it affects him. This is a different way that it affects him. I feel like when season 3 starts, he'll finally be past most of it, because I feel like that was the point of the end of season 2. Like, he comes to, well, I don't want to spoil it, but he moves past a lot of that trauma and just tries to grow up and be a proper adult. But up to that point, so much of it was about the things that he had dealt with in his old life. So, but like most isekai anime don't do that. Most of them are just exactly like this. Like, some fucking loser finds themselves into a new world where life just ain't that hard no more because they got all the superpowers.
And everybody loves them.
The girl I like got a boyfriend at another school. He in the judo team. He threw my ass in the trash yesterday. I guess I'll die today. And then I won't die. And then I got hit by a truck. Here I am. The best nigga in the world.
The problem there is the girl you like these dudes, they be so much losers that they don't even think they're allowed to like girls. Like, they be top tier losers, man. I'd be like, hey, man, you doing a little too much for me. But I understand, like, the idea of, like, shut-ins. That's the real problem with anime getting so popular with adults, is that it's kind of altered the way, like, they've altered the way that they make anime now. And so, like, there was a time where anime was made for just, like, regular people, and then it just so happened that only nerds liked it. And now it's like anime is made for like super fucking nerds.
Yeah, made for the otaku.
People are messing with it now.
Yeah, now they have to deal with all the nerd tropes.
That's where kind of like in the later 2000s, that's when that started to become more of a thing, because you had the Moe Blob era.
Yeah, the Moe Blob era.
And how there was starting to be more anime that catered toward that. It's funny because like back in the like early 2000s, I believe it was like the mid 2000s when it came out, something like Welcome to the NHK was like quirky and a standout show, whereas now something like that, you put it out, it's like, oh, this is very similar to a lot of other shows that are like this,
It was ahead of its time because it addressed the idea of being a shut-in, being like a neat / hikikomori type person, and as opposed to now where like that's the main character of a lot of anime.
Yeah, so, exactly. Yeah,
a lot of them are shut-in.
Let me do one off TikTok, and then I want to get back to that Reddit because I do want to talk about that Reddit one.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Oh no,
this is not the best anime of all time. It's the greatest. Goku is not a top 20 strongest anime character. He's not even top 20 in his own verse. My hero is the Dragon Ball.
Hold on.
What?
All of new gen anime.
Yeah, I know.
Definitely cooked.
Oh,
Dragon Ball is not the best anime of all time. It's the greatest.
What?
The greatest?
He said it's the greatest of all time.
All time.
All time.
Hey man, if it's your favorite, I don't have a problem with that. Like a lot. Like I would say that my favorite anime is not the greatest anime of all time. I don't really have a favorite no more, but still, I would say that none of my favorites are the greatest anime ever. But to say it's not the best, it's the great. Like, what are you talking about?
I mean, to be fair, in terms of like franchise global appeal. Yeah. I mean, it is
the impact it's had.
Yeah, the impact that it's had, but is it the greatest? I mean, that's one of those things that's just going to be up for debate all the time. Just
yeah.
But I mean, for a lot of people, it was the gateway because it got us a taste of anime, and then we started refining it over watching other series and manga over time, but which had better written stories.
I'm about to say something crazy.
Yeah.
All right, say it.
I'm about to say something super crazy. Look, man, I understand Dragon Ball Z is the gateway and all of that. But you need to get off that weed and get on this crack, bro. Like, I'm sorry. Like, it's time to move on to some other drugs, bro. The gateway implies that you went on and moved on to some harder drugs, bro. I need y'all to move on to some harder anime drugs, bro. Let it go. Go get some of this meth, bro.
No, I don't think that I would.
Clip it, ship it. It will do 100K views. Let's go.
Oh my God. Get on some anime crack. I was talking about getting on anime, better quality food instead of eating fast food anime.
Well, you said gateway, and so I was like, all right, man.
Gateway
is really just a drug term. Like, that was my gateway. Like, hey, man, get on some harder drugs, bro.
People said marijuana was the gateway to crack.
Goku is not a top 20 strongest anime character. He's not even top 20 in his own verse. My Hero is the Dragon Ball of new gen anime. An anime doesn't have to be insanely well written for it to be good.
I don't think that's that hard of a hot take.
Is enough for it to be considered peak. Mihawk is a more skilled swordsman than Shanks.
Young people?
Shanks is more powerful. The Admirals are not as strong as the Yonkos. They're barely above Yonko commander level. They can't beat any of the Yonkos besides Buggy. Naruto, Bleach, Dragon Ball, and One Piece all streaming in 2026 will be the best anime run of all time. Goku is the most popular and influential anime character of all time. There's really not a debate.
There's a lot of hot takes to take in here.
There's a lot going on there.
There's a lot of takes to get in.
I'll pick one. The My Hero one I don't think is that much of a hot take. I think My Hero its influence for a lot of young people was like Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Because I noticed that when I was like I would go into bookstores, like manga bookstores, when I was like buying manga, and I was like, My Hero took over. Like it had its own section, and it was quite large.
It is going to be remembered well.
Yes, definitely.
This person has never seen anything that isn't a shonen. That's the only way you could fix your mouth to say Goku is the most influential protagonist of all time.
Thank you.
That's the only way you can say it.
I mean, he's never might be the most influential on the shonen genre itself. I could see that.
Yeah,
there's an argument there.
There's definitely an argument there. In a lot of cases, with him saying the words in this genre, sure, I can see where you're coming from. But he's going on a blanket statement of we're covering the whole medium, and yes, Goku is.
I mean, we could. That's a whole other argument. And some people, that's all they know is anime is shonen. So,
that's the problem.
And that's
the problem.
That is a problem.
Hey, I was a filthy couch myself, so I understand. That's a mindset I understand.
Stop saying Naruto. One Piece would be considered peak fiction by most people if it didn't have terrible pacing, or if people actually tried reading the manga. Gojo versus Sukuna will go down as a better quality fight than Goku versus Jiren, not in terms of hype. There will never, and I mean never, be another anime to break the internet like Dragon Ball Super did, with the exception of Luffy finding the One Piece. I'm definitely getting fried for these.
The internet's already could definitely do that.
I mean, anime is.
I feel like
popular.
Demon Slayer has had bigger moments than Super at this point.
Solo leveling.
Yeah, but you leaving out the final episode of Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super. They were streaming that bitch in other countries. Like they was getting together having parties in like Latin America. They was going stupid over there.
They were watching on the street.
I remember that. No, I definitely.
They were outside in Latin America, bro.
I gotta put some respect on it for that. That was bro. That was crazy.
I gotta get on their flowers.
But Demon Slayer is up there. I agree. It's getting up there.
Yeah.
Anime hot take. You're safe. I'm here. Don't hold back. Dragon Ball Z is the worst anime ever.
Hell no.
Here's a joke. How many Dragon Ball Z characters does it take to change a light bulb? I believe I can answer this accurately. 27. Goku does all the work, and then everybody else kind of stands around, goes in awe, and then probably a couple of them die. Wrong. It takes one, just 70 fucking episodes for it to happen. Thank you. My bad. I missed that detail. I apologize.
Like, dang, man, it made cash.
For the uncultured swine out there that don't know any better, his words, not mine. What would you say is peak anime? This is the one. The buck stops here. Best of all time.
Don't fuck this up.
Cowboy Bebop. A fantastic classic.
That's a safe pick.
I mean,
that's safe.
That's a really good pick. That's really good. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I still don't agree that Dragon Ball Z is the worst anime, but if you're gonna say
no way,
what's the best anime, your Cowboy Bebop. I mean,
that's one of those things that you say for engagement. I mean, you know,
definitely. Yeah. I will say this does bring up a good conversation because you mentioned this earlier with like the casuals on Netflix. It's like there was a time when we lived in the age, you know, we're old enough. We would on the internet and we would go on the websites, you know, the websites that had the anime, and we just looked up anime. We didn't even necessarily know all the anime we were watching. We just try stuff. I feel like because it's gotten so broad, people go off the recommendations and just what is popping right now.
That's the recommendation.
That exploratory phase that we had that allowed us to get exposed to so much anime. A lot of people aren't having that anymore.
Yeah, and King, I think I remember talking to Sage about this back when we had them websites. I used to just go on there and look. They had it alphabetized. So you go from A down to Z. Yeah, and I would just look on there and see what sounds cool. That's how I watched Claymore. Yeah, it sounds cool. I watched Chrome Shell Rejoice. It just sounds cool. You just click on something. There's some anime I've forgotten that I can't even remember the names of that I watched because I watched on there just clicking and. But that experience I think is gone now. What Keem said, like everything, the top stuff is like, watch this. This is the hot thing instead of just like going and taste testing and seeing what you might like. That's not the popular stuff.
Yeah, a lot is time as well. People just don't have as much time as they get older too, so they just have to go for the.
I'll say this. I grew up already immersed in anime culture. Like when I was already reading like different magazines and trying to like and being online and like getting in touch with like the anime community back in the early 2000s. And so actually from the very beginning, I was being fed recommendations. And so that's how I found my way to stuff like Cowboy Bebop and Trigun and that other anime that shall not be named right now. And in fact, even let's just go ahead. I'm old enough that somebody was like, hey man, this Dragon Ball Z is cool, but y'all don't know nothing about this hot new manga coming out, Naruto. I'm old enough for that. I'm old enough when somebody was like, man, Naruto is different, man. It ain't just about the most strongest person. It's like you got to have tactics and intelligence and all this shit. Back when the shit was before it was Naruto shipping in before shipping came out. It was like pre-shooting exam Naruto. That's what they was talking about. And I'm like, that's how old I am. So I remember being recommended stuff like that.
Sir. I'm with you, Sage, because I'm old enough to have read the first chapter of Naruto in Shonen Jump.
I was just gonna say I used to buy.
That's how old I am.
I used to get Shonen Jumps in Walmart, bro.
I read it
in the bag.
Y'all too.
And I remember reading it. I was like, "This is cool as hell!" Like, ninjas.
I hope not, because we're about to get into something.
We're all old enough to remember Shonen Jumps coming with promo Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yes,
just get a card out of the magazine.
Yeah.
So I didn't get the Shonen Jump, but my good friend at the time, he did, and he got it every week. So I would go to his house on Sundays after church. We would read Shonen Jump together. It was really cool.
Yeah.
So here's another Reddit post. What are your anime hot takes? I would have let this dude slide because he wasn't really talking a lot. I was like, all right, cool. But as I started to explore, he did something that got me pissed off. And now we coming back to that thing that Terrence was saying about One Piece. I saw an Instagram post today about a guy who made a reel stating that no one who has watched anime for less than 10 years has the right to judge me and my opinions on anime. I don't know about that. I grew up watching anime for longer than most anime watchers have been alive. Yes, I will say that I'm old. Like, well, I don't mean shit. I've been watching anime still probably longer than this guy. If you don't know what Toonami is, you're too young and not justified to tell me that my opinions are wrong or invalid. I mean, Toonami is still on.
Yeah.
Like, when people say shit like this, like, hey, man,
he came back.
It's still on right now.
To be fair,
a decade ago. He came back a decade ago.
A lot of kids probably really watching Toonami like that now.
Probably not, but I mean, like, why are you arguing with children?
That's a good point too.
And this person probably talking about peak prime Toonami. I would just assume.
Well, you know, Dragon Ball Z is the grandfather of anime. No, it's actually
just popularized the genre in the West.
Correct.
Worldwide, really.
Fist of the North Star is also back there.
Correct.
You know,
Correct.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure was back there. Like, hey man.
Correct.
Now, granted, that's more manga than anime because
it is.
JoJo only got like an anime in like the 90s.
He got OVAs.
We got an OVA
part,
for Stardust Crusader.
Those are good though.
There's nothing wrong with watching dubbed over subbed, and if you criticize someone about that, you're just being a tool. I'm gonna keep scrolling.
We know you got we know you have your own opinion on that.
I got something else to say about it later.
I'll listen to both.
Bleach, Naruto, and One Piece are the big three OGs.
When we say OGs, I mean we're talking about like because the big three was the term for them, so there is no other big three than those because that was it.
Man, I'll tell you what. We're gonna keep going and then I'm gonna get into it because I'm tired of big three shit. Bleach, Naruto, One Piece are the big three. That's not a hot take though. That's just how it is. The term big three was coined for these three series.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was saying.
I placed this there because I'm tired of. I'm hearing too much about Bleach not being part of it, which is blasphemy. And then that all goes back to the point that people who just started watching anime and get all their info on TikTok shouldn't be taken seriously. These people don't know history. Out of curiosity, is it just because of the amount of episodes? I would consider Dragon Ball and Detective Conan to be the equal of these, to be honest. The reason is because all three of them were popular at the same time. Everyone knew and watched them in the early 2000s. That's all there is to it. So now, let me come back to that thing that Terrence was saying about One Piece. Say that again, Terrence, for the people that weren't paying attention the first time.
In the West in the 2000s, like it's funny how the reception to One Piece was because of the infamous 4K 4Kids dub back then versus now. Like it pretty much took 10 plus years. Cause even in the 2010s, One Piece still wasn't like the biggest thing in the West. Yeah. I'd argue maybe like the latter. Actually, after the time skip, that's when I would say One Piece. That's when it really took off in the West. I personally would say. Of course, anyone who knows more about One Piece, they could tell me otherwise. But
friend of the podcast, Tim, would definitely clue us in.
Yeah. In the West, One Piece was not like this. I don't know where that shit came from. I actually kind of do. It is more of like because it's a Western thing in the first place. Like the concept of a big three is entirely a Western creation. You go to Japan and you look at the manga sales of One Piece, Bleach, and Naruto, and tell me you think there's a big three. Bleach is not in the same category. Like, and I say that as somebody that grew up liking Bleach more than the other two. Like, they're not in the same category. Like, Bleach is.
Well, One Piece at the top, so I'll let you know right now.
They're not in the same. Where do you see Bleach on that list right there?
Damn, Jujutsu Kaisen is above.
Cops.
But they in the same. But it's top. And I'm talking strictly from sales.
Oh shit, Go-Go 13.
Hey man, you gotta put some respect on Go-Go 13.
I promise you got to.
You finna see it, but look how far down it is.
A lot of these people don't even know what Go-Go 13 is, but you can watch it on Hulu if you get a chance.
Look where Bleach is at.
Right next to my guys in JoJo's.
130 million copies sold. Naruto got twice that. Like, and One Piece got twice that. So like that. That's why in Japan, like people say, like if you really know what you're talking about, in Japan there ain't no big three. It's just One Piece. And I say that as somebody that don't like One Piece, but it ain't no big three. It's just Big Luffy.
Big Luffy.
Shit is a myth. All right, that's some shit that we came up that like the fans, like I don't know how to classify those fans because it was an internet creation, but it was like that's some shit that was solely created by Western anime fans. Like that shit not real. And the idea of One Piece being that big in the 2000s, like
terminology.
No, 4Kids fucked that shit all the way up. The dub was all fucked up, and it ran for like a year or two. I know what Rakeem is finna say already. Go ahead and say it.
I was 10 years old, 11 years old. I watched the fuck out of that 4Kids.
I'll say this: the dub itself, like the voices and the acting,
it's bad.
It's bad. Well, I wouldn't say they were bad. I'd honestly say some of it was actually decent, but It's the writing and how stuff was translated that really, like they weren't going to be able to get to like the darker. They were not going to be able to get to the darker parts of One Piece on that dub. I'll put it that way, just because the censoring was just way overboard.
I'm not gonna lie. I will say this, Terrence, in your favor. It was weird for me to watch One Piece dub years later after I grew up on the 4Kids dub as a little kid. Cause I was like, these people don't sound nothing like I remember. What is going on?
I can't let Rakeem slide because Rakeem was like, I watched it, so and I know that One Piece fans gonna try to be like, well, see, even on your podcast, somebody said they watched it. All right, that's cool.
I mean, it wasn't that popular.
Just because somebody watched it does not make it popular. And I'm not even saying Rakeem was wrong for liking it. I'm just saying just because I like something, like just like a second ago when I was down in Bleach, like Bleach is of the three, that was the one I liked the most, but it was the least popular. And we can't argue facts. So here, just in case, like, and this is really just directed to anybody that might watch this and have something to say. On June 8th, 2004, 4Kids acquired the license for distribution of One Piece in North America. All right, cool. It premiered September 2004. That motherfucker was taken off the air by 2006.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
They got to the Crocodile arc.
They was like, that
once they finished the Crocodile arc, they were done. I remember that.
Yeah, they what was it, the Floating Island arc or whatever is after that? That's when they stopped.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much right after Alabasta, if I remember correct. No, they did get Chopper. Pretty much after they got Chopper, that was it.
Chopper, yeah, you're right.
It took them a while. Because the 4Kids dub wasn't that well received, it took a long time for One Piece to build its popularity back up.
Yeah.
To get to the point now where it's like, I would say One Piece is more popular than Naruto right now in America.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, I'd say that, yeah.
Well, we can also argue it got the benefit of it never stopped.
Yeah. That, and I'll also
That's a huge difference.
I also say, to One Piece credit, those that rode with the series never stopped riding for it. They always talked about it, and as a result, it never left the like greater zeitgeist conversation. Because I know, like a decade ago, like when I was in anime club in college, like there were those who talked about One Piece. They loved One Piece. They are still talking about One Piece now. So like they are. People who love One Piece are always trying to put people on, and I think that's another reason why it finally caught on in the West.
Shout out to Tim Bush, friend of the podcast, one of my best friends on earth.
Get out of here.
He still texts me, "Hey man, read One Piece." To this day, we've been friends for over 16 years.
My man still posts that the one meme from
the Gintama meme
from Inuyashiki. No, from Inuyashiki. The One Piece was so good this week.
Yes,
One Piece so good this week.
He still pull up on
there
us
are
with
people
that
who have not watched that show, know nothing about Inuyashiki, but they know that meme.
They know that meme.
They know that meme.
So I mean, like, it's just something that the only reason I get so passionate about this is because it's like that's history, and people are trying to revise it and make it into something that it's not. Because there's another thing that pissed me off, and what somebody said when they was like, everyone knew and watched them in the early 2000s. No, they didn't.
Not everyone.
They didn't.
Not everyone. No.
Not every. No, it's not. It's the early 2000s part. Like, no, that was not what was popping in in 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003. No, it was Dragon Ball Z. It was Sailor Moon. It was Pokemon. It was G Gundam and Gundam Wing. It was Tenchi Muyo. It was Ronin Warriors. It was Outlaw Star. It was Inuyasha.
Yeah.
All of those things was popping before the big three got on, man. So like this idea, like people keep saying like, oh, the big three ruled the early 2000s. Like, no, it didn't.
No, they didn't.
And it didn't rule the mid 2000s. It was Ghost in the Shell. It was Full Metal Alchemist 03. Like, it was so many series that came out and had their time in the sun before the big three came along.
Shoot, yeah, Death Note in 07 definitely. Shoot, had a goated run.
Man, that was
it was quite a lot, man.
Yeah. Hey man, a lot of people had the titles. It wasn't just 3 champions.
Exactly what Keith said. Hella people had the world title before you came along, man. It wasn't just y'all just sharing the title and passing it between y'all. Cut that out.
Now when One Piece finally finished, maybe it can say, hey, I was number 1 and you got it. That's just
I mean, at this point, it's not argue. Like, I can't argue that currently One Piece isn't the most popular show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess it's going back and forth with Jujutsu Kaisen and what's the other show? Solo Leveling kind of, but Japan hates solo leveling,
Yeah,
so
I'm gonna say that's
they
just
might
us.
they might cause that bitch to fall off
us in
just off of
Korea,
how much
you
they
know.
dislike.
I was gonna say there's a historical context behind the hatred of solo
I mean, I
leveling.
know
We
why they
gonna go
hate it.
there.
Well,
We
it
know
is
why.
what it is.
Still,
I know why they hate it, but I mean, like, they gonna make that because like I don't think there's a season 3 of solo leveling in the works right now.
I think
That's
the
wild.
studio, I think the director said, don't expect that anytime soon. I think he literally said that, if I'm not mistaken.
This feel like One Punch Man again. When One Punch Man was like
the
white hot over here.
The West fucked with One Punch Man, and I think in Japan they was like,
shit,
they fuck with Mob Psycho more because they finished Mob Psycho over there.
Mob Psycho's adaptation was beautiful, and One Punch Man
was
got tossed to the side.
I'm so confused on that.
All right, what are the spicy takes we got here?
What else we got going on?
Oh, this is all still by the big three. Okay.
Yeah.
No, these different now.
Oh, okay.
That kind of replying to it a little bit.
Oh, I love this one. This is a super hot take that Twitter definitely needs to see. A lot of shoujo romances as much wish fulfillment and self-insert as the shonen romance that gets shit for being the same thing. Facts. Facts. I'm tired of seeing people say, oh man, shonen romance is just so sloppy and it's just about wish fulfillment, and like, man, if you don't get the fuck out of here, have you read a shoujo romance? They be the same thing. And like this person said, there's nothing wrong with that, but some people like to pretend like shoujo romance is somehow better when they're two sides of the same coin. The plain Jane average female main character is to girls, what the gloomy, awkward male main character is to guys. Like, correct.
To give them some credit here, I will say that yes, you are right. It is like the same side, the same coin, but because the male MCs get so much more attention than female MCs, I can see why shoujo fans feel burnt. I'll put it that way. Yeah.
I mean, I'll say this. I think there should be more shoujo anime or shoujo manga that gets adapted into anime.
Agreed.
I think it's bullshit that it's largely shonen anime, especially like romance. Like, come on, man. Like, because even when you make shonen romance, a lot of guys be like, "Oh, this is for girls." Like, nah, bro. It's specifically aimed at you.
Yeah, it's aimed at you. It is. Like, what's that anime? Quintessential quintuplets is like people look. I mean, that's a harem, obviously, but it's like that would fall under the shonen demographic because it appeals to boys. It's not appealing to women.
Yep.
Right.
Whoa.
Well, what's going on here?
Are you reading
the JoJo adaptations are subpar as animated adaptations and are carried entirely by the source material and the studio's ability to recreate the iconic panels and freeze frames. The old OVA was a much better animated series.
That's a hot take, boy.
That might be the spiciest one we've seen so far.
The OVAs really just did what? Part 3?
They only did.
It only touched on Stardust Crusaders,
and I think they condensed the fuck out of Stardust Crusaders.
Yeah, they did. They definitely did.
They condensed that so hard you practically get to that fight with Dio at the end.
I mean, that is a hell of a hot take considering how like successful the run they've been on.
Yeah, from 2011 going forward.
I'm gonna let my boy Devin talk about this because this is his series. How you feel about that take, Devin?
How you talk Devin. I want to hear what you gotta say.
I mean, personally, I don't know. This person is they said a take, but I don't agree with it because I mean I'm still loving JoJo. I will say because I know it's on Netflix now, and I've had this opinion before that it's becoming like I don't say it's mainstream because I know we had a conversation about like anime not to suggest to people that's new, and I still feel like JoJo's one of those. It's popular, but I still don't think it's like super up there. I don't know. I enjoyed JoJo, all the ones I watched. I can't wait for the new one coming out in March. If you feel like the old ones were better, and this is just like what did he say it was go back to the post.
There it is right there.
He said are carried entirely by the source material and the studio's ability to recreate the iconic panels in freeze frames. Oh, okay. I don't know. I think this person just wants to write something. That's my opinion.
Sometimes I do feel like people's opinions, they just be having them. So like, basically, because like you have some people that just think being super faithful to the manga is a bad thing.
There was a hot take that I did. I thought about posting that in the chat, but I was like, maybe not.
I almost feel like the take he's saying
is
like,
you did get it. Okay, I did post it.
I prefer 90s animation over the modern animation. That's basically what it feels like.
That's what I was getting at. I think that's what he might be saying. And I do think there was something unique and special about that the older school animation. And the fact that it was like inspired by Fist of the North Star, which he had that look to it when they kind of deviated from it. So that actually might be where it's from. Because you look at JoJo now, it does not look like what it used to look like animation-wise, like the character models and stuff. Jotaro was this 16-year-old that looked like he was a middle linebacker for like, the Patriots or something. But he looked a lot smaller and normal as he got older. And then we had his daughter. He just looked like a regular guy. So I think maybe that could be where they're getting from. I don't know. I mean, I enjoyed it.
That's just Araki's art style developing over time. Like he changed his own art style.
Yeah, Araki changed that.
Yeah,
that was him.
Because his later mangas don't look like his original. But I mean, to be fair, most writers just improve or change or get more ingrained in what their style is later on as they write anyway. Because like you can tell, I've read manga and manhwa where the artist starts off kind of rough, and by the last couple chapters, he's mastered his style and it looks way more refined and different. So
and that's cool because you literally get to see the improvement. Like you get to see someone. It's almost like the journey in that the character in the anime usually takes, where it's like they start off at the bottom and they slowly work their way up to like this big, like major person that you always believe they could be. It's just like that in a sense.
I agree. Anime like Bleach, where it's just copy paste from the manga, are bad. I much prefer an adaptation that innovates in its own way, that actually lets the director's talent shine. Well, first off, properly adapting a manga in itself is a challenge for the director.
It's a tough one.
Like, don't just act like they just holding meat in their hand and just pressing a button that says copy manga.
That's not
how all they had to do. And then everybody else before him was doing all the real work. And then this one dude, he found the copy manga button, copy manga to anime, and he pressed that. And all you got to do is hold his dick in his hands for the rest of the... Like, that's not what's happening. It's working itself that has to be done to make that happen.
Yeah.
It's crazy, too, because, like, I remember the conversations like back, even now, where like people deviate too much from the manga and it ruins the anime because it deviates so much from the source material that it lost congruency or the story went off kilter or issues like that.
They didn't fuck Boruto's name all up because it's got maybe 40 episodes worth of anime, and then they made a 260 episode show. But okay, let the director do their own thing.
Yeah, let them shine.
And you wind up with Boruto the anime, everybody like, it's trash. Meanwhile, the Boruto manga fans just in the gutter like, bro, it was good. Please read it.
To be honest, I feel like this is more like a newer age take, because back in like the 2000s or before, we were fighting for anime to be more like the manga, because they were always we always knew like anime in and of itself, anime is meant to be a promotion for the manga. Like that at its core is what anime is supposed to be. But years ago, it was way more even that than it is now. Like now, there is more of a push to be accurate to the manga than there was like 20 years ago. 20 years ago, you'd have shows where once they hit that diverging path, it's like, this is going to do its own thing now, and I got to go read the manga.
Yeah. Terrence, do you feel like anime having less episodes and doing the cores attributed to them allowing them to do more concise stuff to the manga?
Like no filler in a sense?
Yeah, because they don't need filler anymore. They're taking breaks.
Yeah, I can see that, where you're not like continuously doing it. Yeah, I could definitely see that.
A friend of mine talked about this one time a long time ago, but basically a lot of studios realized there was a lot of money in continuing to follow the manga, because that meant they could come back to it and they didn't have to necessarily create a brand new or find another manga that's a success. They could just milk the success of an existing IP and be like, hey man, we'll just keep making this. And so like that's a large part of it. But yeah, I do agree with Terrence that this is a very new school take. Like back in the day, most people just wanted like a direct adaptation, and it was rare that you got it. And I think this is more of a contrarian, like, now that we're starting to get so many direct adaptations, you're finally seeing people go, oh man, I wish they'd diverge more and innovate in their own way and all that nonsense.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, go ahead.
It's also interesting to me because I know for a fact that like you have to do that for action scenes in shonen anime. Like you can't just You can't do paneling. Like it doesn't
No,
work.
you
that way.
can't. No, you absolutely
create
can't.
action and create the.
Unless you One Punch Man season 3.
I will say the most interesting case of this argument is, well, the most interesting case where it's the opposite for this is Sailor Moon. When Sailor Moon Crystal came out, Sailor Moon Crystal is extremely faithful to the manga. But people didn't like it because it did not remind them of the 90s Sailor Moon. And thus, more people went back to the 90s Sailor Moon because the actual more faithful adaptation, they just didn't deem it good enough. So,
that's true.
You know, there you go.
Very true.
Yeah. It reminds me of when you talked about He-Man Reborn, which I think ironically is coming back. How you like the anime adaptation stopping at a certain point and the manga kept going. You're like, nah, I felt like where the anime stopped was the perfect stop.
That last arc of that manga just ruined me because I was like, we did all this for nothing. it's that manga still has like one of the worst endings ever to me.
Hot take, but avoiding filler is killing anime. Like, yes, I actually do want to see JJK characters just fooling around for a whole episode without anything plot relevant happening.
They did that in season 2.
I mean, yeah,
they literally did that. It wasn't a filler. That was just what they wrote.
I will say this: there are some iconic filler episodes that all of us love. Like we all love. Well, I guess it depends on how you define them as filler. Because I mean, we all know the driving episode from Dragon Ball Z. That's filler. That's not in the manga or anything like that. But that is one of the most iconic filler episodes. The episode where they're playing baseball in Samurai Champloo. Like, is that actually part of? Well, is Samurai Champloo even based on a manga, or is it just a straight?
No,
anime?
It's just all original.
Okay, yeah, so that doesn't count.
All right, cool.
Now, a lot of shows have kind of invoked that anime in their own way.
Some of these people just need to watch original anime, and they need to argue for more original anime. How about that?
Yeah, fair.
You know, obviously, I don't mean 12 filler arcs. Well, bitch, that's what you're getting. That's what's happening. You don't get to control how filler is made. You don't get to decide like, well, I would like it if you drop the episode where they learn how to drive into the. No, that's not what happens. You can't control. Like once they start doing filler, they just do filler.
Yeah.
So you're not necessarily gonna get what you want. You're gonna probably wind up with some nonsense. The best thing is just get a proper adaptation, and then you can ask for like more original anime, which I do think is a problem. I do think it's fucked up that we don't get that many original anime anymore. Like back in the day, I felt like we got way more brand new. Like it wasn't based on no light novel. It wasn't based on no manga. It was just, hey man, I got together with a team and we gonna make a brand new story. We need more of that to come back.
Now I will say,
I feel like,
there are sometimes some filler arcs that come out and they actually are better than you would think. Like for me personally, I think the Zanpakuto arc in Bleach was actually a good filler arc.
It was good.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That was something in the OG Naruto, a filler episode or arc they had, and that jump was hilarious. And I think it was something they were cooking with Kakashi or something, and that was hilarious to me. I got to go back and find that, but I was like,
the problem with filler usually happens when we get 15 episodes that are not plot relevant, and then we left on a cliffhanger. Because One Piece had the most egregious filler I had ever seen in my life. If y'all have not seen this, there is a part in One Piece where they're about to save Robin. It's the Water 7 arc where they leave Water 7 and they go to the little prison area. And then they're standing there and basically Robin's screaming out that she finally wants to be alive because she had blamed herself. She went through so much pain. And her friends are standing there. It's like this cool moment where the bad guys are on one side on this gate and the good guys are on one side. It's a really cool shot. Like, oh, this is dope. And then they decided like, for the next 8 episodes, we're going to go to each character's entire backstory that you already saw and see how they got here. And they're going to keep showing this first scene where they on the gate looking at each other and then go back to their backstory. So I'm watching 10 episodes straight of I'm like, bro, you got to skip. It's literally inexcusable. Like you cannot watch this at all. I had to skip all of it. I ain't never seen that in my life.
Like reruns back in the day.
Man.
Oh boy, what we about to get into?
Okay.
I don't care about big 3 arguments.
Yeah. 86 is the best new gen anime.
What is the new generation? Like, what are y'all deciding? Like, there's y'all gotta stop making up terms.
What's the criteria for that?
Let that go back to history. Like, let history decide what the new gen is. Now, do sometimes people wait too long? Like comic book industry, they've been calling the modern age 1986 to present. I'm like, nah, bitch, you gotta move the numbers up a little bit. But you ain't got to do it this way either, where you so eager to create new generations. Like, all right, man, just let the next generation happen naturally.
86
also, 86 is fire. This ain't even like a take. Okay, so this one, if you thought Vinland Saga Season 2 was boring because there was no fighting, then you were completely missing the point of the story. Like,
it's a take.
That's just the truth.
That's just the fact of the story. Like, I don't know what to tell you. What would you say, Keen?
I would say that's a symptom of a bigger issue. Like, people don't realize that, like, vengeance, it comes to an end. Once you get your vengeance, you empty. Vengeance don't restart. I think it's like the Punisher syndrome, but like there's always somebody else to fight or somebody else to shoot. Mm-hmm. Not always. Once people get vengeance, that's not a good thing. That's not a good feeling to have. Like, you don't want to have that feeling. You just feel like you need to get it back because of what happened to you. It's more of a trauma response. It's like the end of God of War when he killed all the gods. Like, now kill some more. Like, no, there's a reason Kratos reset and started a family.
Yeah, he out of God.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's it, bro. Like, I got my vengeance. That's it. Like,
he was out of God.
No more. I'm sorry.
They just gave him a different type of
They
God.
did give him some more. That's true.
Different set of God.
But he wasn't fighting them for vengeance. He got on there because they would. That's why.
This is a funny take. One Piece fans make people not want to watch the series. We get it. It's good. Chill out.
There's some truth to that.
There is some truth.
And the fact that our friend group specifically has a person like that.
Oh.
We love you, though.
I know Sage did not like. I didn't know Sage did not like this one.
Sage hated it.
Well, I'm kind of right there.
Because Suzaku ended up being the hero because of what happened.
Lelouch essentially spoilers alert for the almost 20-year-old anime. Code Geass ends with essentially Lelouch being a martyr.
Yeah,
I mean, he just
Well, I don't think that's the best.
Anyway, this not only is this wrong because the ending was ass, but it's wrong because they made a sequel and he ain't dead no more. So
that is true.
It's like the ending of Dark Knight Rises. He's not the hero we need, but the one we deserve.
Nobody knew about.
Attack on Titan was the defining anime of the decade for 2013. Well, first off, that's not a decade. That's not how decades work.
You could argue.
It is a span of 10 years, but that's not how a decade works. I mean, you can argue that. I'm not going to argue with you. Attack on Titan was very popular.
I mean, it was one of the biggest. I will say, if anything, the only thing that goes against Attack on Titan is it took so long to
finish up
season 2. Like I know a lot of people who say that they didn't get on Attack on Titan because it took so long between season 1 and season 2. And as much as I want to tell them, like, I mean, man, it's still good. It's like I kind of can't argue with it. Wait, what was that about Summertime Rendering?
It's the best underrated new gen anime.
I will say that I do think that show is very underrated. And I think the only reason that it didn't pop off here was because of who licensed it. They put it on Disney Plus and Hulu, and I mean, as a result, I mean, folks weren't really looking out for it. So it is what it is.
SAO gets way too much hate. I mean, and we at the point now where people barely talk about that bitch.
Yeah, I mean, they're not even the movies. What were the new movies? Shoot.
I thought one of them was.
I know what you're talking about.
The SAO. What do they call the new movies? Damn it. Okay. Progressive. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
They haven't announced another one of those. So I mean, who knows if they're even still going on with that?
Not even last. It's very solid, but it does nothing perfectly, and in my opinion, should not be in the running for greatest anime of all time.
Anyway, we're moving on from that. I will not be hearing that foolishness.
In other words, sir, who made that video, kick rocks and eat dirt.
It doesn't do anything particularly well. I mean, come on.
Well, that's not what he said. It does nothing perfectly, but I mean, like, no anime does anything perfectly. So I don't know what he's talking about on that. But I mean, it definitely did everything at such a high level that the idea of you being like, oh, it should be excluded from Masterpiece Talks. What you gonna include? Attack on Titan? Not in my world. I understand Attack on Titan was popular, but you're not finna shit on FMA and say it can't be part of the conversation, but Attack on Titan can. And then the end of that story was what it was. Nah, man. Hell no.
Hey man, it's too good. We can't include it. It's not fair.
All right, what my man King Vader got to talk about?
Off the top of my head, I will have to say I have two. First one is that I believe in order for Boruto to shine, they had to assassinate Naruto's character. What do I mean by that? Naruto, he grew up without his family. You know what I'm saying? He grew up with the absence of his own dad. And then that kind of pushed him to chase his goal of becoming Hokage, which he eventually does. Now, you are the Hokage. You have a family. You're the one ninja who can be everywhere at once, and you choose not to be with your son. It doesn't make sense. He chooses to be in the whole.
So here's the thing. We gotta allow for characters to be imperfect.
Yeah.
And all the time people fall for the same mistakes that their parents made. And definitely. I know it sucks and I know it hurts to see, but it hurt in real life. Yeah. In real life, when you become your parents, you like, damn, there's an aspect of me that I always disliked from my mom or my dad, and I'm doing that same shit. That sucks, but sometimes that happens, and it does make for an interesting character. Like it makes for an interesting story-line. Plus, I mean, they just got rid of that nigga anyway.
Think
like
also, like he's technically the president of that universe. Like he has a lot of work. Like you talking about paper. Like he got a job to do.
Yeah, running a village ain't no job. You
that's
just
what
like,
what he talked all that
off.
smack throughout the original Naruto. That's what he wanted, so he got it. I will say there is something to be said for making a story where you follow this character and you're rooting for them this entire time, and then they finally get to this point and you're like, yes, like I've wanted this all this time. Like it's good to leave it where it is at its peak. I feel like when you take said character that's made it to this peak and then like you are trying to like deconstruct him in a sense to where like, oh, now he's a bad dad. Like, oh, he doesn't make the best decisions now. It's like you've taken this character that I grew up loving and now you're trying to like show me all the flaws of him now older. It's like, I could see how that doesn't hit the same. I mean, I could see it appealing for some people, but it's kind of like with Avatar in Korra, where they showed how Aang wasn't like the greatest parent. And it's like, I feel like Aang wouldn't quite be that way based on what we learned, like the journey that we went through with him all those seasons. But I mean, I guess
they just turned into Goku.
Wow. I feel you on that, but I also feel like it looks different when when the character's no longer the protagonist.
Right.
Like when you see everything from the protagonist's point of view, everything that they do feels more justified unless they're like just the worst person ever. Like a lot of times, like things that you wouldn't let slide if they weren't the protagonist, you let slide because it's like it's showing what they going through and how you seeing it from their point of view. And you like, oh, well, I kind of see their side of it. But the second they no longer the protagonist and you see some of that same stuff, you like, oh, actually, man, you kind of out of pocket right now.
You know, I feel like that would be fair if you gave me a replacement protagonist that I cared more about. I'm not going to care more about Boruto than I am Naruto. That's just me personally.
That's a good point.
I'm not.
That's a good point.
Boruto is not a better character than Naruto. Maybe that in and of itself is a hot take, but no.
I also will say that like, I agree with Sage that like it's important to show characters being imperfect because like I also think that a lot of anime, especially show anime, is very goal oriented, and I actually think it's refreshing to see your goal comes with a sacrifice.
Yeah,
goals don't come. You don't go all in on becoming an athlete or a CEO or running your own business without some level of sacrifice. Where there are times when people who were close to you don't get to have the availability towards you that they should have or want to have because you chose your goal that you dreamed of your whole life to have. That happens in real life. And as an adult, like sometimes it's good to see that like, hey, while you're chasing your dream, your kids are at home waiting on you. Those things happen. It's actually good to see that side of it.
I get like looking at the ever after part of the happily ever after, like, seeing what, like, it's like when you see in Disney movies, one of the criticisms is we don't get to see the couple actually do couple things after, or like how the marriage actually ends up later because, you already reached the peak. We don't need to see any more of that, but it does help to dispel the fantasy around it. Like, I do get that.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, not that any of this matters because Kishimoto just killed, well, he didn't kill them all, but he just wrote Naruto out of that bitch anyway. So it's like, all right, well, you ain't got to worry about whether he a bad dad, good dad, he a gone dad is what he is right now.
I mean, they showed that in the beginning, right, with the time skip, right?
Did they?
They had like a time skip early in Boruto where Boruto and something happened with Naruto. He was older and like Naruto got messed up. I thought that was like the very beginning of the anime.
It was Boruto. He was fighting Kawaki.
Oh, okay.
For some stuff, yeah.
What is your anime hot take?
I truly believe that anime popularity would never exist in the US if it wasn't for women.
Why?
Because women are the #1 consumers of anime. There might be more men these days that purchase manga and talk about it online, but when it comes to like the 80s and 90s, women are the ones buying the official merch. We're the ones writing fan fictions. We're the one cosplaying. A lot of men, they just watch like high action shonen series. Women, we consume all sorts of stories. Every time I see a man online calling a woman a fake fan, I guarantee that man has seen 3 shonen and maybe read half a volume of Berserk. Also, like, fan fiction too is another reason why anime is so popular. I honestly did not know about Naruto as much until I saw Naruto and Sasuke online. And who's the one making all the fan fiction? Who's the one making the yaoi and the porn? The women are, okay? And that puts money in the pockets. You may not believe me, but it does. We're also the ones that go to collab cafes. We're the ones who purchase everything. Like, women are the ones who are saving fandoms. Men are too busy online complaining about power scaling and shitting on women, while women are the ones going out of their way to support the creators.
What is...
So I'll say this. There is some truth to what she's saying. There's actually a lot of truth to what she's saying. I'll say that, and then I'll chime in after whatever you all have to say.
Yeah,
This is a very gender war ass take.
Thank you. I was thinking
it is, but
I'm like, man,
there is truth to it, but yes, it is a very baiting take because of the gender dynamic. Just because that's always gonna be a thing.
I mean, like, look, because here's the thing. What are we saying? Are we saying that anime could only have gotten popular with women, or are we saying women have played an integral role in making anime popular? Because if it's the latter, then that's not a hot take. That's no shit, which is why I'm like, this is a gender war ass take, right? Yeah. Like, women have played an integral role in anime. Like, you go back all the way to the 1970s, 1979, 80, whatever. With Gundam, like, one of the reasons that Gundam was able to catch popularity was because women were writing Amuro and Char fan fiction and doing all types of shit, and they were super invested in like the characters that Tomino wrote. And by the time the men came along to buy the action figures, even Tomino, there's an interview with Yoshiyuki Tomino where he's like, hey man, y'all late, the women been here. So like, yeah, women have played an integral role, but like, it's not as if men just don't do anything. Like, I understand. And to be fair, there are a lot of men that have only ever seen like 2 or 3 shonen. We was talking about that earlier. So
that's true. I will say, I see a lot of women cosplay online. There be a lot of shonen kids. I see a JoJo character. It's one chick I see on Instagram. She be dressing up Rock Lee all the time. Some Naruto character. So I'm like, there's a lot of women love shonen now.
No, I mean, absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
The days, and this is really a problem with just like what happens when anime creates like, well, not anime, but just like anytime you get a new tier of popularity. I don't know how to phrase this, but there's like when stuff is popular, and then there's when it becomes mainstream, and it becomes a new tier of popularity beyond the normal tier. Like back when we was fans of video games, and the big games was like Final Fantasy, Resident Evil, Metal Gear Solid, like that type of stuff, like the stuff, Street Fighter, all the stuff. And then like suddenly video games went mainstream, and the popular shit was Call of Duty. And now the popular shit is Fortnite, and it's the super popular shit. And anime has done the same thing where there's a super popular tier, and the super popular shit is only shonen and isekai.
Yeah.
And like anything that isn't in that super popular tier, you don't see as much. And so you do see a lot more women doing cosplaying as shonen characters and only caring about shonen anime versus like when I was a kid growing up and women fucked with Mars and Gravitation and Marmalade Boy and Peach Girl and all that shit and Magic Knight Ray Earth and all types of shit that women fucked with back in the day that they don't talk about it, that barely any women talk about it at all now unless they're older anime fans. So.
Yeah. I'll say that there is a lot of discredit towards women in regards to their contributions to the anime community. And I feel like that's the basis of what she's getting at, is that most people don't discredit how much men like anime versus how much women like anime. And when you look at it, yes, like the time that is put into cosplay, the money that's put into cosplay, women buy a lot of merch. That's not even an anime thing. That's like across like the entire, like the entertainment industry, like women buy a lot more merch than men do. And I think yes, there is a gender wars part of this that, I mean, is very baity, but at the same time, that this take is birthed from the fact that you go online and you have a lot of men who discredit women's involvement in anime or call them a fake fan. And when you get enough of that, you get people who have to say stuff like this, and it becomes a hot take in and of itself. So it's like hot take after hot take that birth other hot takes. Like I said, this is one of those where, yes, there's the rage bait aspect to it, but there is some truth to it in how women are treated in the anime fandom.
I'll also say this too, is like when something is niche in the early stages, and a part of this is not only just men doing that to women online, it's when stuff is niche in the early stages and it grows, there is a growing resentment by people who said, well, you didn't like this when I liked it.
Yeah.
And I was looked down upon for liking it. So now, because of that, they look at them as fake. They feel like when I liked this when I was younger, I got ridiculed, I got hated on or talked about. And we talked about this on podcast before many years ago. And we said, grow the fuck up.
Two things to that. I agree with you. But it's two things. One, what's my man's name? Terrence is gonna know what I'm talking about as soon as I say it. One, go to therapy.
Tony.
Yeah.
Tony.
Go to therapy. That's the first thing.
Go to therapy.
And then the second thing is this: like, just because you didn't know that it was women into that shit doesn't mean there weren't women into that shit. Like, women were creating fan fiction and they were doing the cosplays. Like, I was looking earlier today at like some old Anime Expo shit from like 1990 or 1994. And first off, not a Dragon Ball cosplay in sight, but actually, no, there was one Great Saiyaman, which is funny as fuck to me. But everything else was just like, it was women there. It was plenty of women there. They was dressed up as Ranma. They was dressed up as Kei and Yuri from Dirty Pair. They're like, women have always been a part of the fandom. So like this idea, like you just weren't paying attention, or it's just in your area, all you knew was just you and your 2 or 3 guy friends.
Of
like
course.
I was telling like there was a comment somebody left on the podcast on one of the shorts. It's like, oh my God, Black Nerds or whatever. One of our shorts. And I was like, yeah, man, when I was a kid, I didn't know no black. It was just me, my homeboy Keith, and my homeboy Mallory. We was the only black nerds I knew. And when I met y'all, I was like, holy shit, it's more of us. Like, but that's just because you just in your one area.
What you mean?
Like you just in your one area, you don't know nothing else. Like you got to see that it's a bigger world out there, and it ain't just you in it. So like, don't get mad at these women. That's anime fans. They might have been anime fans longer than you were.
Yeah. I mean, just the same way that you had like the geeky men who were awkward in high school, you very much had geeky women that were awkward in high school. It's just that the two probably didn't overlap, because you may have had like the geeky men who weren't chasing the geeky women. They were chasing the more popular women. But that's a whole other conversation. I'm not going to get into that.
Not just that, but like,
oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Keem. Go ahead.
I would say even better conversations. Like, man, think about all the women who actually create manga and anime.
Exactly.
Facts.
And made popular ones.
Yeah. Gachiakura, one of the most popular shonen right now, made by a woman.
Full Metal Alchemist.
Made by a woman.
Yeah. So Rama 1/2, Inuyasha, like it's so many like super popular manga that was. And I'm just talking shonen manga. Like all the ones that I named and the one Gachiakura, like all those are shonen and they still made by women and they got super popular.
It's weird, or not weird, but what's also crazy is a lot of prolific characters from really popular shows with women voice actors like Gohan, Frieza,
Naruto.
This one's a spicy one. Okay. So a lot of people have opinions on Attack on Titan, on like whether it's fascist or communist. I don't care. It's the only, I'm not a big fan of this genre, but it's the only mecha anime I watch. Attack on Titan is a mecha anime.
I do exactly what it is. Can you click the X up there?
You know what?
You see the X in the top left? Can you click that? This dude, I promise this dude make my existence itch, bro. Like every time this
I remember when this came out.
Is
left or right.
Ratatouille a mecha? Because if
I remember this.
Ratatouille's a mecha.
I remember when this argument first came out.
Technically, it could be.
If you watch the
AOT
show,
is not mecha, then what about Eva?
Not the whole anime.
If you watch the show,
you talking about Evangelion?
And you see them inside the giants, because they are literally almost wearing the suits.
Yes,
the argument fits better, but it's still silly.
Hey, man.
It's one of those. You're
Get
technically
this
right.
taco sandwich ass conversation the fuck out of here, man.
That whole episode would have.
Then the mech included. It has to be like a mechanical piece of hardware, like.
No, because the Evas are biomechanical.
Yeah, they're biomechanical for Eva.
Well, okay, biomechanical. There's a mech involved in this, right?
Right.
This is a mech part of this.
He's not the first person to make this argument. And I mean, like, you can see in the comments, like, he's right. It's a mecha anime, and it's got 10.3 thousand likes on that bitch. So
it does have similar mecha themes. A lot of political stuff.
Yeah.
I see where the argument came from. And when you watch it, it's like, especially when you see them like in the Giants, like they'll show them inside of it and they're like connected to it, like it's a flesh mech. That argument, I see where that came from. I don't agree with it, but I see where it came from.
It just goes back to the is a taco a sandwich ass. Like, that's what that is.
Yeah,
it does feel like that.
Yeah,
it do.
You know, we don't have to do this. Sandwich. Yeah, it's a hot dog, a sandwich. Like, man, get the fuck out of here. But I mean, also like,
this is no mech in it. There's no mechanical. That's my only thing. This is no.
Feel you, and I mean, like that's. I would definitely not. I don't count it as a mech anime, but I understand the people that's trying to be different and call it a mech anime because he's not the only one. I'm also annoyed, like the idea of like I don't watch mecha anime, bro. You make 95% political content. Like, what do you mean you don't like mecha anime? Like, shut up. It's mostly political.
That is wild too.
Crazy.
What's your anime hot take?
I think that anything Studio Ghibli is overrated. Yeah, I think a lot of the stories are overrated. The animation is A1, but the stories are overrated.
So what's an anime that you think is underrated that more people need to check out?
Demon Slayer.
Shut up.
What do you like about Demon Slayer?
Shut up.
Get out.
Please
Man, I thought we were honestly going to have an interesting
I thought it would be actually a nuanced conversation.
Like a nuanced anime or something. Hey, man,
okay, maybe it's more to his, because I mean, you got Ghibli been around a long time, so people got have thought about this. I'm like, okay, maybe he's got some points of what the story had weaknesses, and like, man, you watch Demon Slayer. Shut up.
Said Demon Slayer is underrated, bro.
That man said Demon Slayer, bro.
He made that before 2019
anime of the decade for 2010s.
One of the biggest movies that an anime has produced, and he talking about
that motherfucker
underrated.
came out
I think it's
in
the
2019, and they made it. And Funimation had it voted anime of the decade in 2010. But it's underrated though.
It's underrated. It's underrated. Sage, you ain't heard?
Hey man.
Oh Lord.
I think he just need maybe his friends don't watch it, and so you're like, nope, I can't get him to watch it, so it must be underrated. He must not be watching it, man.
Sound like he in that bubble.
Anime is actually like pretty good. Like Food Wars, for example. Like, you cannot sit here and tell me that Food Wars is bad. Are there boobs jiggling every 5 seconds? Yes. But is the plot good? Yes. Like, I fucking love Food Wars. Like, what can I say? Like, one of my favorite animes is Quintessential Quintuplets. In 2021, my top third most.
Is that a Gooner anime?
I don't think it is.
The word Gooner is used so loosely.
Quintessential
Quintuplets,
isn't technically a Gooner anime.
Like, I can see the argument for Food Wars. I can see the argument for Food Wars being called a Gooner anime. But Quintessential Quintuplets, no. If anything, Quintessential Quintuplets is a bit more like the wholesome side outside of some stuff.
If it is a Gooner anime, I can't beat my meat to meat. That's different. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, Food Wars was created, if I'm not mistaken, by a hentai artist.
It was.
Oh, okay.
I'm just going with the joke. Got me beat by.
I want to hear what that's crazy.
One of the openings for Quintessential Quintuplets, and in 2022, my number one played song was another opening for the same anime. So I have like the Itsuki figurines, like I have the manga, I watched the movie, I watched like I am a big Quintessential Quintuplets fan, and like same with like Food Wars, Konosuba, Nizukoi, like I fucking love.
All right, look here, man.
None of those are Gooner anime. Like
none of those are.
Konosuba is not a Gooner anime.
No, not at all.
If that's her opinion, Gooner animes, God bless her heart. She's an innocent woman. That's a good girl. Hey, she got a good heart. That's all I'm gonna say.
Nizukoi is not even remotely a Gooner.
That's why I said she got a good heart. Let her have it. Let her have it.
Because Konosuba does have like some silly fan servicey moments for sure.
Yeah.
But that's a long way from being a good. Like, the point of the anime is comedy, and most of the comedy isn't sexual in nature. Like they occasionally, you got the joke of every time what's my man's Cosmo? Yeah. Every time Cosmo steals some shit, he steal a pair of panties. You got that.
Oh yeah,
but that's like that's a rare.
That is so common, anime.
And then you got what's my girl Darkness.
You talking about Darkness, yeah.
Yeah, her whole little fantasy about being kidnapped and taken advantage of. But
Lord.
Even that, everybody's like, if this bitch don't get her weird ass the fuck on, that's how the whole universe is like, this chick weird. Even the people she be trying to get kidnapped by, like, you weird. Get away from me.
Like, okay, what a real Gooner anime, in my opinion, would be like, what's that show that came out that they put it on Crunchyroll for like a couple episodes, realized their mistake and took it off.
Interspecies Reviewers.
I was about to call it Isekai Reviewers. Interspecies Reviewers. That is a Gooner anime.
What's that one anime that you showed us, Will? I hate to put you on blast like this, but I mean, we here now.
I don't get no care. Let's talk about it.
It was the one. It was like the society. It was like a free use society or whatever.
Oh,
what?
What's the name of it? I think it's recent, isn't it?
What?
I feel like I know what you're talking
like
about.
A free use society.
Yeah, it was like they was on this island where it was like.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know the name of it. I don't know the name of it.
It came out recently. I think that was last year too.
There was an anime, I think either last year, year before it, where it was like a world where.
But I know what you're talking about.
Only a few men survive like a disease, and so when the men do survive, like they're immediately put together. Like those are Gooner anime. Like
yes.
Regular, like not even like the most of the shows she mentioned, they're not even ecchi. So it's like that's not Gooner. Like I said, there's some words when the internet gets a hold of it, they twist it and make it into something that it completely isn't anymore. It's like that word means nothing now.
Would y'all consider High School the Dead one?
Are 3 of my
controversies.
Yeah,
that could be.
Because I know that one scene in particular, I'm like, all right,
something
totally unnecessary.
That's probably the most borderline.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
That's probably the most borderline ecchi, not harem. It's not even really.
Now you got me want to look up the name.
Or
of
just
the show
ecchi,
because I know it was last year.
I'm already mad that they did somebody doing this via ASMR, but I mean, we here now.
We here now.
Anime hot takes. Number 1.
Get out my head.
Is not too controversial.
I can't do it.
I can't hear it.
I can't do it.
I hate ASMR.
About anime. If you don't like it, I think
get out my ear with that. So we'll just go to this chick and then we're gonna wrap it up.
you just go ahead and unfollow me and block me because I'm just gonna keep going. I don't care how popular the anime is. If the main character is 13 and dresses like, I'm not continuing this series. I'm not. The amount of animes that I have seen, the first 2 episodes, and it has quite literally just been. I am talking about that My Hero redub thing that they did. I don't know what it's called. The Vigilante.
Wait, what
character she talking about?
Yeah, what character she talking about?
Oh, is she but aren't they in college?
She talking about like the.
She talking about
vigilantes.
She said vigilantes. Those are like college characters, aren't they?
Is she talking about Pop Step?
I think so.
Let me see something.
Okay, look, I think Pop Step was like a high schooler or whatever.
Oh, is she? Oh,
here's the thing. Everything about Pop Step is you ain't supposed to be doing that. Like everything about her character is you're not supposed to be doing that. Like the way she dressing, you're not supposed to be doing that. The way, like the fact that she be holding her concerts in public, she ain't cleared it with nobody. You're not supposed to be doing that. Everything about her character is stop doing it. You're not supposed to do that. Like it's against the rules. So like do I like that look? No, but also that feels like a thing that's when I remind myself like, oh, I'm supposed to not be watching this. I'm supposed to be watching like grown-up anime or like TV shows, like regular TV shows. It's like a lot of seinen and josei manga get turned into live action shows over there. So that's quiet as kept. Like, really, you're not supposed to be watching these shows. It's supposed to be for kids. So
they don't even say how old she is.
Ew. I am waiting for dub. If it is in sub, I will not watch it. That's just it, plain and simple. I'm sorry. For the people who are, sub is so much better. I don't care if sub is so much better. I'm not watching anything in sub. I'd rather wait for it to come out in dub. That's how I'm right now with My Hero. I don't care if there's like 8 episodes out of My Hero. 4 of them are in dub. So guess what? Only 4 episodes are out. I don't care. Most anime merch sucks.
Okay, these are annoying hot takes.
I mean, they legit hot takes though.
That's a real hot take.
They are legit hot takes, but I feel like these are just personal grievances at this point.
Yeah, maybe that's what I mean. Yeah,
I'll take these over. Man, solo leveling is underrated. I'll take these. These legitimately, like, a hot take should get under your skin a little bit. I'll say this, man. You know, I was watching, like, I told Keem, I said, hey, man, turn on that new Fate, Strange Fate. He turned it on. It was dub. Did I say anything about it being dub, Keem?
No.
We just watched it in dub.
Yeah, I watched both.
Come upstairs.
So.
Like, anybody come upstairs, watch anime upstairs, you watching it subbed.
Yeah.
If you ask for the dub, and nobody here would do that because everybody here got manners. But if somebody like this that was like, I only watch dub, you finna get out of my room. You finna either learn to read or you finna get the fuck out. That's what you finna do.
I feel like at this point, if you're an anime watcher, like you should be able to watch anime sub. Like you just should be able to. Even if you have a preference for dub.
Surprised how many people don't
want.
I'm saying I know. Like I know that I think Netflix released a statistic on that a lot of people watch anime dub over sub. So I know that a lot more people do it, but at its core of like, you know, never mind. I feel like this gets into a whole other conversation.
Hell no, because I'm gonna get into it. You ought to be able to do both. Like I'm not so much of a sub elitist.
Can't read, Sage.
And if my homeboys are watching it in dub, I'm like, hey man, y'all gotta change over to sub. I'll never do that because I'm not that much of a fucking nerd. However, I'm also not finna switch up and just because like Devin said, because you don't want to fucking read. I'm not doing that. Like you got like all of y'all watch. Some of y'all watch dub normally, but y'all will watch a sub if that's all that's available.
I watch
like
both.
All of y'all.
Yeah, I watch both. Like honestly, for me, it depends on the show. Like there's some shows where the cast is really good for the dub. I will like Gachi Akata. I know that they really put a lot of work into that dub, so I watch that dub. Something
that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, something like Solo Leveling. Like I know they put a lot of work into the dub, but I just watch that sub just because I mean I'm fine watching it sub. So for me, it just depends on the show, and it also doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things.
I would say another argument. I would say another argument these days is like because of the prevalence now of Chinese and Korean translation. I get used to like listening to like different types of subs.
Yeah, that is true.
Because I've listened to something in Chinese that's new for me as an anime fan. So I got to start. I started listening to some, but it just feels different when you listen to Japanese for so long.
I'll give that take one.
I can't read.
Being literate is subbed. Ew, no, I can read.
I'll give this take one bit of leeway, and I've noticed this. Sometimes the captioning is bad. Like they'll put white text with no contrast or background behind it, and you can't see it. So in that regard, I'm like, I get it, because sometimes I'll be watching the sub and I'm like, I can't even read what I can't.
That depends on if the service sucks or not. Like some services sucks in regards to their subtitles. I agree.
So it's like I will give that because I've noticed some. I'm like, I can't even. I'm like, you. This is a design. You gotta have contrast. You can't put white text on front something that's light. You can't see it.
And to get old school about it, this is why back in the day they used to have a funny typeset on it that wasn't just white text. They would have different typesets so that it was easy to read no matter what you was looking at. It also looked cool, but it was mostly you can read it no matter what the background was. And now it's like we just gonna only use white.
I will say one thing in favor of dubbed for the times we are in. You better appreciate your dub voice actors now because they trying to auto dub.
Yeah, that is true. The AI dubs.
You keep not listening to that dub if you want to. They'll be like, well, y'all don't care about these actors, so why should we care?
Well, I mean, like Terrence said, like the dub is the most listened to thing.
Yeah.
Like by far and away, like Netflix, I think, and maybe Crunchyroll, but I know Netflix
makes sense.
Info, and like dub is far and away. Like I think it's 75% of people listen to the dub, which is fine. But I'm also like, hey, you should be able to listen to the sub because if anything popped off, like Keem said, where they switch to cut costs or whatever, you ought to be able to be like, well, I just switched to the sub and just not watch the dub. Then fuck that shit. You ought to be able to do both. So I don't understand why people act like they can't read or act like they just can't listen to a dub. Like both ways, like it have some versatility.
Yeah, like both exist. Dubs are good. Dubs are not, I will go ahead and say this for somebody who comes in here and said dub sucks. Dubs now are not what they were in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. Dubs now are actually very good. A lot of effort is put into them. So don't be taking an opinion from 40 years ago and trying to compare it to now because it's just factually incorrect. You can watch dub. You can also watch sub. They're both fine.
We ain't got that speed racer no more. We ain't got that.
Hey, I just even like that sub, that dub when I was a kid.
You know what's I think a part of this is also if people like us have been watching anime for decades, for so long, we used to it. Imagine a person just getting into anime, watching a dub. Normally you consume media and watch TV. There is usually no text on the screen, no subtitles unless you got captions on. But most people just watch it without it. So they watch like, why am I watching with words on? So some people just like, I'm not finna read. Like, I don't know.
Help.
I see. I think I'm weird like that because I used to always watch TV with the captions on just so that I know exactly what they were saying.
It's easy.
I'll be honest with you. Now the sound mixing on most TV shows and movies is so awful that you have to turn captions on. Sometimes just to hear what people are saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like that shit be fucking terrible. You be listening, you like, what the fuck are they saying? And then finally you just have to cut the captions on in English. You be watching a show that's in English, and it's like I don't understand what the fuck they saying no more. And I don't know, like they need to fix that audio mixing problem. But hey, man, I'm just a dude with a podcast. All right, I think that's gonna wrap this week's episode up. If you liked it, you know what it is. I need you to do me a few favors. I need you to like and subscribe. I need you to tell your friends about us and do me a personal favor. Have an excellent week. Peace.
And give us your hot takes in the comments.
Yeah. Dragon Ball. It's the best.